Yo, what's going on? Chavo Guerrero Jr. here, giving a big shout out to Wrestling Rehab. Keep watching, keep listening, and viva la raza.
Órale. Órale, Cholo Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shouts to all the junkies out there. What is going on? What's up, G Funky? My tag team partner should be tapping in here, Pablo. I think let me shoot him a link one more time, Holmes. If not, that's cool, dog. We'll just roll solo, man. Lot to talk about. Let me see. Let me shoot him a nice little invite. There was a PLE over the weekend. Not really sure if anybody checked it out with NXT, Holmes. New type of match that is new to me. I don't know if they've had it before. This is the first time I've ever seen this type of match where when you take a pinfall, you go into the penalty box. It was a little confusing at first, but then I caught on. I'm like, oh, okay. I understand the match now, right? I forgot the name of the match. I think it's like I think they're calling it an Iron Man Survivor match, something like that. I'm aware of the Iron Man match, right? I mean, heck, dog, who could forget WrestleMania 12? Bret the Hitman Hart against HBK in the Iron Man match that went over an hour. And as a matter of fact, Roddy Piper, he's the one that made that match happen. I think he was like general manager or something like that. But he made that match for WrestleMania 12. And it actually went over an hour because at the end of that match, nobody had scored a pinfall. And it didn't go too much longer after the hour. I think it was probably only about like, I'm sure it was under 10 minutes, maybe even under 5 minutes. It didn't go much longer after that. But that's where the whole thing, the boyhood dream, the Shawn Michaels telling Bret the Hitman Hart to get the hell out of the ring. This is his time. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. But anyway, this is the first time that I've seen this type of matchup that happened over the weekend with NXT. Like I said, I think it's called an Iron Man Survivor match. There's 5 competitors in the ring, 5 superstars in the ring. They don't all start at the same time. It's kind of like the Royal Rumble every 5 minutes. Well, the Royal Rumble, it's every 2 minutes, but every 5 minutes, they add a new star to the ring. And the match goes on for 25 minutes. And the one that has the most pinfalls at the end of 25 minutes wins. And whenever you're pinned, you got to go into the penalty box for 90 seconds. So they did one for the ladies, they did one for the fellas. It was it was all right. It was all right. It's not my favorite match. It's not even close to it. But I could do without it. I could do without that match. If they want to continue it, that's cool. I don't really want to see it on the main roster, but it's cool if they want to continue with that type of matchup. Look, let me tell you guys this, junkies, okay? Let me tell you guys this. Hell in the Cell, love it. Love it, right? Money in the Bank, love it. Elimination Chamber, that's not that old. If you guys remember, that's just a few years old, man. That has not been around that long. And that was probably the newest addition when it comes to a match that I really enjoy. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you guys, man. I probably enjoy Elimination Chamber more than I do Hell in the Cell. Now, War Games is probably the newest one, at least on the main roster, right? Because they've been doing War Games down in NXT for a minute. But at least on the main roster, they've been doing it for Survivor Series. It's cool. It's cool. I don't mind the match. If they do away with the match, I'm cool with it too. It's not like a must-have for me. It's enjoyable enough where I'm like, okay, that's cool. If it sticks around, I'm down with it. But if it doesn't stick around, that's fine too. It's not like a big loss for me. If they get rid of, say, Money in the Bank, the match itself, I'm not down with that, man, because I really like Money in the Bank. I really like a Hell in the Cell match. I really like Elimination Chamber. War Games, I do like it, but not as much as I do those. Now, this, I think they're trying to do a little too much. I understand the concept. I understand how on paper it looks like it can be pretty damn feed, man. I get that. But nah, they could do away with it. If they keep it, like I said, fine. I hope they just keep it down at NXT. No really need to see it up on the main roster. But it was, it was cool, man. It was different. I'll put it like that. How about that? It was different. Once it's not different anymore because it sticks around for a while, I don't know, man. Might lose its sexiness. But I somewhat enjoyed it. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get to this past Friday night. Okay. Friday Night SmackDown, tribute to the troops. Let me see. Hang on. I'm getting a text in right now. Okay. All right. I'll be rolling solo. Okay. Let's go with this past Friday night, right? Friday Night SmackDown, tribute to the troops. Okay. I love tribute to the troops. Okay. I thought when tribute to the troops first came around, what was it, 21 years ago? It was badass. It was badass. They actually went out to Iraq. They would go to Afghanistan. They would go out there and they'd set up the ring. The superstars would spend like a week out there and just, going around, man, and just checking everybody out and, saying hi and what's up and make their presence felt to all the soldiers out there fighting. And it was I remember the whole, hey, since you guys can't be home, we're gonna bring a little Americana here to you, right? And it was like that for the first few years. And I thought, Serio dog, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I really did. I was like, this is badass, man. I love this. And then for whatever reason, maybe money had a lot to do with it. And I get it. I get it. You got to fly, way out there, right? What's up, Bessa Benny from the Box State? Oh, we're gonna get to Dominic in a second, dog. We're gonna get to Dominic in a second, Holmes. All right. So just chillax over there, man, on the Rockies, Holmes. We'll get to Dom in a second. But after them not traveling abroad for tribute to the troops, they would go to military bases here in the US. And I think even they went to like a base in Germany once. But they would go to like, Fort Hood, and I think they went to Camp Pendleton once. I'm not sure. But they would go bases around here in the United States. And I'm like, okay, that's still cool, I guess. If they're not going to be traveling across seas to see the troops out there, I guess if they go to the bases here in the U.S., that's cool, right? That's all right. And then at some point, they just started recording tribute to the troops with really no emphasis on the troops. I'll tell you guys how I know that, but let me go ahead and get to this. There was a tribute to the troops that they did on a Navy base. I think it was probably like 3 years ago. I forgot who was the main event, but I think it was like 3-on-3. And it was outside. It looked all right. It looked cool, man. It didn't really look like they put a lot of thought to it, but oh well. But let me go ahead and tell you guys how they really brought it down, man. How they really just took away from what tribute to the troops was, okay? So how I know that the last few years, they didn't really, I don't want to say care about tribute to the troops. I don't want to use that word. I just want to say it's not what it once was. You guys want to know how I know? Because I was at one of the tribute to the troops. It was about 2 years ago. As a matter of fact, Pablo Paul from the LA Times, my tag team partner who jumps on here, who's not going to be able to jump on today, but he was there. Him and I went to SmackDown. This is when Roman Reigns was beefing with Brock Lesnar, when Brock Lesnar was trying to put it in Roman's head that, hey, Paul Heyman, he's really over here on my side, right? We went to SmackDown, and while we were at SmackDown, it said right there, hey, stick around, because after SmackDown, they're going to film tribute to the troops. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So what they did is that they gave away a bunch of small little American flags, right? And we watched SmackDown, obviously. And then after that, waited about maybe about 20 minutes for them to change the ring, change the apron, change the way everything looks. And I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, I don't really see any military personnel here. We're definitely not on a base. We were in the city of Ontario. Shout out to Toronto Arena. Great venue, as a matter of fact, man. I've been there to watch boxing matches. I've been there to watch wrestling. Great venue. And then they just had somebody, say like, hey, you know what? We're going to film tribute to the troops. Make sure you get your flags out that we gave away and just start waving them. And I'm just kind of like, all right, cool. But man, we've really, really downgraded what tributes to the troops originally was, at least at that time. So this time around, okay, tribute to the troops was just this past Friday. One thing that I like is that they built it back up. Yeah, sure, maybe not to what it once was when they were going, abroad to go perform for the troops out there. But this time around, they just made it a regular SmackDown. And I liked it. I did. I liked it instead of them filming it afterwards with really no military personnel there. And then going ahead and then airing it, I don't know, like noon Pacific on Saturday. Like that cheapened it for me. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you guys this. When I was at a tribute to the troops, they filmed this like the beginning of November, somewhere around there. And they didn't release that out until, close to Christmas. So I hope this is the step that they take. Just make it, SmackDown. And if you guys looked around the arena, there was a lot of military personnel there, which was badass. Loved it. And those dudes coming out there, man, the color guard coming out there, flipping the rifles around. Feed me, homie. Feed me, dog. Feed me. Loved it. Loved it. Brings back a little patriotism back to tribute to the troops, and I loved it. Having JBL there, even better. So shout outs to the WWE for putting a little bit more emphasis on tribute to the troops. Yes, it's not what it once was, but it got better from what they made it of the last few years. So I enjoyed it. And they put on a damn good show. It was a good SmackDown. I loved it. I loved it. Shout outs, saludos to all of our troops here in the States and abroad, baby. That's right. Shout outs to all our troops. So, okay, man, let's talk about Dominic. All right, the one that runs the yard, Holmes. The one to walk the yard alone, eh? So Dominic was on the PLD over the weekend for NXT. Shoot, damn it, I forgot the name of the PLD. If somebody knows, let me know. I completely forgot the name, but I did watch it. So he was up against Dragon Lee. And Dominic's deadbeat father, Rey Mysterio, was there announcing the fight as well. Okay. Cheering on Dragon Lee instead of his own flesh and blood. I mean, son of a gun, dog. What a deadbeat father that is, Holmes. I love the storyline, man. I really do love the storyline. I did not see this coming. So Dominic has, by the way, Monday Night Raw tonight is in Cleveland, Ohio. And they're going to go ahead and they are going to have Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll get back to Dom in just a second. But Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura and CM Punk will be in Cleveland for Monday Night Raw. So, anyway, Dominic goes, he's been North American champion for a minute. And Dominic has been one of those guys that he goes anywhere. He's on Raw, he's on NXT, he's on SmackDown. This guy goes anywhere and everywhere. Honestly, I'll be real with you guys. I completely forgot what brand he's actually on. He's supposed to be on one of these brands. I forgot which one it is because he's on all the brands. And he's been doing that for quite a while. I forgot which one it is. So he has a great match against Dragon Lee. And I've said this before, man. Hate Dominic all you want. That kid can go. That kid's got skills, man. That kid can go in the ring. They put on a pretty damn good match. Him and Dragon Lee. Look, I like Dragon Lee. I do. Just not sure how great he is on the mic, though. But nonetheless, they have a good match. Ray's out there. The deadbeat father is out there rooting against his own flesh and blood son, like a deadbeat dad that he is. And I didn't see it coming, man. I thought Dominic was going to win, but no, they had Dragon Lee win. New North American champion. Dragon Lee. So I'm wondering where this leaves Dominic. Okay, are they going to get him out of NXT? I mean, he's not branded on NXT. I forgot, like I said, I forgot which one he's on. He's supposed to be on Raw or SmackDown, but he's on everything, so it really doesn't matter. But does this mean that they're not going to have him on NXT anymore? Because look, he brings eyeballs. He does. He brings eyeballs. And I have not seen Mommy on NXT for a minute or two. She was always there as well. So I wonder if they're just going to pull Dom from NXT and not have him there anymore. Or, if they're going to go ahead and, put him in NXT and have him go after something bigger. Or do they have bigger plans for Dominic on the main roster to go after something bigger? Does he go after the United States Championship? Does he go after the Intercontinental Champion? Oh, dog, that would be badass. That would be badass. It's next up for the women's title. Hey, I'm telling you guys this, man. I would love Dominic to go after the IC strap. I would love it. I don't think that's the way they're going to go. But since they got the North American title off of him, they used Dom, and they used them well. They used them well for NXT, right? I think now they're going to start trying to move him up the roster on the main roster. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the Judgment Day does, especially Mommy, right? Because we haven't seen, because this was over the weekend, we got to see him amongst the Judgment Day, especially in front of Mommy, their reaction on him losing the strap. Is this going to bring heat on him? Are they going to kick him out of the Judgment Day? Does him and Mommy have some sort of breakup at some point. They can't stay together forever. When does that happen? Is this the beginning of a course of having them split? Mommy is so over right now. She is so over. She does not need the Judgment Day, man. Now, the Judgment Day is not holding her back. To be honest, it's not. But at some point, Dom and Mommy got to split and go their own ways. I wonder when that's going to happen. And if this could be the beginning of something like that. Like, hey, you lost the title. Like, you're no good to us. Or you need to go out there and prove yourself. And then he goes out there and falls short. And then it's like, oh, okay, you're a loser now. Kick sticks. Man, I would love for Dominic Mysterio to become Intercontinental Champion. I really would. Man, good gosh, Holmes. If Dom Mysterio can become IC, man, can get the IC strap. Oh, man, I'll tell you. Tom Dorcas left. Hey, check this out, man. Some really, really bad news. And that is that the Queen, Charlotte Flair, is injured. Okay, in your dreams, Pancho, in your dreams, says Big Al. The Queen, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, Charlotte Flair, is injured. And as of right now, I don't know how long she's going to be out. From what I hear, it is a pretty bad injury. They're even talking about her possibly even missing WrestleMania. So, I mean, that's months away. So that's got to be a pretty bad injury. And by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Charlotte Flair, she's in her late 30s, man. I think she's about 37, 38 years old. So, her getting these bad injuries are going to take a lot longer to heal than when she was younger. Now, in my opinion, okay, just for me, Charlotte has earned her spot to not have to perform, week to week. For me, Charlotte just needs to be at PLEs. Just have her on pay-per-views. She doesn't need to be performing out there every week. Live shows. I get it. You got to sell these live shows as well. I understand. If not, nobody's going to go. I understand that. But not if it's going to be costing her or costing everybody, as a matter of fact. Not just her, but costing everybody, not for her not to be in the ring. So, I mean, that sucks, man. To me, she's my favorite wrestler right now. Male or female. And this chick coming up from NXT, Tiffany Stratton, who they had her lose, which I don't know why. I'm seeing a big dream match between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton at some point, where Charlotte Flair, passes down the torch. Because I really like this Tiffany Stratton chick. She is badass, man. And by the way, just to mention this, man, since I'm talking about the ladies, Jade Cargill, whatever happened to her? You guys remember when she came in? It was a huge deal, like a huge deal. They would show her backstage. Everybody would go crazy. She had that stare down with Charlotte Flair. It's like, oh, man, who's going to be her first opponent? Oh, man, we can't wait to see her. Oh, man. It has been dead silence when it comes to her for the last few weeks. It was huge, man. They made a big, big deal when they signed her. And it's been a while. It's been a while that she's been with the WWE. And I don't know, man. It's probably been about, what, a month? 3 weeks? Where they've basically taken her completely off of television, having you forget about her. So I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Now, I think they're having her brush up on her wrestling a little bit, and they're gonna have her come out for the Royal Rumble. But it's just a little crazy to me, man, how huge it was, how much people were raving about it, how many, people were just jumping up and down about it, like, oh, damn, like this was, huge signing, and she was on camera and she was backstage, and just quiet for weeks. So anyway, junkies, last but not least, or maybe least, I don't know, CM Punk. He's going to make his decision on what brand he goes to tonight on Monday Night Raw. I'm going to say he sticks at Raw. No way is he going to go to Raw to tell everybody that he's going to go to NXT. He was on NXT. He talked to HBK, saying that it's a possibility that he signs, with NXT. He was on SmackDown, did the same thing. Now, apparently tonight on Monday Night Raw, he makes his decision on what brand he goes to. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be Monday Night Raw. No way does he go on Monday Night Raw and say, I'm picking SmackDown or I'm picking NXT. Just like if he were to make his decision on SmackDown, then it would be SmackDown. He's going to go SmackDown and say my decision is Monday Night Raw. Plus, we can't get away from the whole rivalry and smack talking between him and Seth freaking Rollins. So I'm prepared for that tonight, for him to say he's sticking with Raw, which I guess it's fine. SmackDown has the tribal chief. Raw is going to have CM Punk, I guess. But they're in Cleveland, Ohio tonight. And I am going to tap out and check it out. Who is coming out first? Let me see. Main event, Jey Uso. All right, junkies, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tap up out of here, man. I'm going to go ahead and watch Raw. You guys see what's up. See what CM Punk says. And I can almost guarantee you he's picking Monday Night Raw because that's what makes sense. It'd be cool. I'll tell you guys this, man. It would be badass if he picked NXT. It would. But I know that's not where he's going. He's going on Monday Night Raw. So anyway, we'll end it right there. Cholo Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shout out to the junkies. Catch you guys on next one.
And